Have you ever wanted to take a game such as ODST from Halo, a little bit of Starship Trooper, as well as a little EDF to throw in there and create a game that is extremely great in a lot of ways? And you also want to call it Helldivers? Well, congratulations. We're going to talk about Helldivers 2 today. And to start off here when it comes to the, for the record, for me going into this, since I've been playing around on it for the last few days now, there was a couple things going into this game I was very worried about as someone who is much more of a solo player, don't really have any like friends or anything to do co-op games with anymore. And yes, we do stream, of course, twitch.tv/Maconn. People do join every once in a while, but my streams itself is very ranty, so you know that not really why people come to my stream. But nonetheless, I was going into Helldivers 2 a little bit worried that someone like me wouldn't enjoy the game or wouldn't be able to fully get invested in it, especially since this is a $40 product at the time of that video for PlayStation 5 and PC. And by the way, we do have cross-play, so it doesn't matter what platform you buy it on, you can play with your friends if you do have friends on another platform. But nonetheless, that was my biggest worry going into the game. And actually playing it now for a few days, I can go ahead and say all that worry was for nothing, because the game itself is, at the end of the day, a 4-player co-op game with heavy MMO element, which we will get to. But at the same time, you can, of course, play this in solo if you want. But the thing to keep in mind is there is different setting from easy, hard, extreme, all the way up to the highest setting, since it's 9 different difficult settings for it. And of course, the higher difficult you play on, the more items and currency and stuff we're going to talk about you will get. So ideally, you want to play with other players. And of course, the map making itself worked very great at that point. Since there were a few ways to do it. You can go ahead and do quick play. You can select missions and do quick play through it. You can search for people that are looking for help if they're already in a mission. The multiplayer and the connection is fantastic. The way it operates, it is extremely smooth from beginning to end to actually get in the game with other players. And the way the game is structured, like, don't get me wrong, having people that are calling out stuff does help a lot, but you have a few things in the game that will allow players to mark enemies, mark objectives. And at the end of the day, is the game itself is simple enough. Well, if you follow the pack of other players, you can complete stuff very much easily without any sense of communication beyond character screaming out location in the game with the default marking of the map. So honestly, fantastic. If you are someone like me, you can hop in, enjoy that, and don't feel like you're bringing down your teammate for not wanting to communicate with them or talk to them or whatever the reason it is for you. So that is fantastic. But with that all being said, let's go ahead and get into exactly what Helldivers actually fully is as a whole, since the game do have some heavy social and MMO aspect to the game itself. So when it comes to Helldivers, though, the few things to keep in mind. You will begin the game as your own soldier. Every character start off the same. There are no classes, nothing of that type. Don't get me wrong, there are builds, which we will get to, but the game itself, you are a Helldiver as a whole. And when you begin, you will go ahead and be able to look at a galaxy map, and you will very quickly start realizing how they operate is the main goal. You defending your home planet of Super Earths, again at the time of that video, 2 distant adversaries with the bugs and the automatons. Each of them are on a separate part of the galaxy, and they are very slowly walking away to the middle where your home planet is, and your job as the player to fight back whichever faction or boats, and hopefully send them back to the home planet and end the war with that species that you are going against. So in return, how this operates is on that map, you will go ahead and see multiple planets in multiple sectors, and when you hover over them, you can go ahead and see how many players are taking advantage by fighting on that planet. So you can go ahead and get a sense of where everyone is in the galaxy, since you can see all players at all times. In return, you can also see if you're in a certain sector how many people are dealt by looking outside your spaceship, because every spaceship outside of your windows are indeed other players, which is kind of cool, small little touch, but awesome nonetheless. And all of you are working together to take over the planet and liberate it, and you do so by completing 4-player missions on said planet and sectors. And as you play with other people, you will go ahead and progress slowly into taking over the planet. So the main goal here is for all the players to work together to complete the overall goal, which in return has a whole sense of community to this, as well as this whole MMO feeling of everybody doing their part and working together to take over the sector and to defend your home planet. As well as you are playing through it, you will get special order. You do have like daily order for you to do, such as kill 10 enemy, you know, the routine at that point, as well as special events that is designed in a way of like, as example, the one we have in right now is go take out certain planets that is tied to the automaton robot part of the war, and by doing so, you will go ahead and unlock some premium currency for the battle pass, which, once again, we'll get to that in a second here, because there's a lot to be said about that in a lot of good ways here, and some way that maybe more game studios should actually look at. But nonetheless, that is pretty much the main objective for you as a player, is liberate the planet. But how you do that is, of course, when you go down to the planet, you will go ahead and find multiple missions scattered about. Some might be rescuing people, some might be destroying factories, some might just be destroying X number of enemies. And of course, this is where a lot of the gameplay come in, as well as the difficult setting itself. Since the higher difficult setting you play on, the more status you get for liberation, and the more people who are playing on the harder difficult playing on said planet, the faster you will liberate the planet, and faster you can unlock this and stuff. Because we have seen, of course, like the last thing we got was a mecha that will unlock like once we took a planet, as well as the more you defeat enemy on said planet, the easier that planet will become for you and other players as well. Once again, the whole community push of succeeding is fantastic. But when it comes to you, once again, you can go in alone or with 4 players, and the players themselves is given a set amount of time. Might be 30 minutes, might be 40 minutes, depending on the mission. You have a couple objectives to get in there. Might it be, once again, destroy a factory or something, but that's not all, because we're in the time limit, and within the map, there will be multiple side objectives and things to do off the beaten path, such as destroying nests, destroying like factory, maybe looking for a core lore for the universe, looking for collectibles and materials and currency, as well as a pay currency that you can get for free by finding it in the missions. And you can go ahead and do all that and do the main mission, and then evac, because the main goal is get in, get the mission done, get out. But with that all being said, the more you do, the more points you get, more you walk toward the galaxy, more you help other players, and easier it will be to evacuate from the planet. Or you can just go in, do the main objective, and get out if that is something you want to do. So in return, there is a lot of freedom here to decide on how you want to take the missions on. And in return, have a lot of chaotic moments. In Helldivers 2 is probably one of the most chaotic games I have played in a long time. Because you would think it'd be simple, just go in, shoot, throw some grenade. I think you do have a main weapon, a primary weapon, and of course a grenade type. But that's not it, because we do have builds that you can go ahead and do. Because as you are doing the mission, you're going to be rewarded with some money that you can go ahead and spend through the shop to unlock different bonuses. Might it be summoning certain weapons, might it be doing airstrikes and whatnot. So getting the currency to unlock this stuff will help you overall, because especially the harder mission you do, the more chaotic it becomes. And in return, we get into how you can actually fail the mission, because when you start out, you will have a set number of life, and when all the lives are gone, you will fail the mission. From my opinion, that one of thing that seemed to be a little far and in between, but don't get me wrong, you will cut pretty quote many times. But with that being said, though, let's talk about the battle pass situation, because this is where the thought coming into play. Because as you also defeat the missions and complete them, not only do you help the overall social game, which is fascinating how this is operating, but you will also receive some premium item unlock currency. So how this is working is for doing a mission, you might get 5 of the points, you might get 10 of the points. If you're doing like the main event that's happening, you can get in that case 50 points. And these points are used to unlock items on the battle pass itself. So the battle pass is very familiar to some of you who might have played a game such as Fortnite, where you will have a battle pass, you will have X number of items, might it be helmet, cosmetics, weapon, armor, which by the way, this is indeed how you unlock weapon and armor the armor do have stat to it, but don't worry, it's not as bad as it sounds right now. But nonetheless, you will get the point for doing a mission that you will work toward unlocking items on the battle pass, as well as a currency that you can then use as premium currency to buy future battle pass. So you can go ahead and get that currency once again from the battle pass itself, or by finding it inside the missions as you are aboard. So if you play your card right and you play a decent amount of it, you can unlock every single battle pass for free, and you do start off with one battle pass to get you started here, and the battle pass that you buy as of now will stay available, so you're going to be able to switch between different battle passes to unlock different things. So that is fantastic. So you can go ahead and unlock the battle pass through gameplay, or you can buy it if you want, and the battle pass itself is roughly translated to $10, as well as the currency you can buy to buy the battle pass. You can also use to buy certain cosmetics and about 4 or 5 items that reset every few days, if I remember correctly. I don't think it's hour, I think it's days, but nonetheless, let me know in the comment on that. But it's just extra stuff, nothing too much. So in return, the battle pass itself very much feels like doing proper unlock and progression you might see in older games. Like, yeah, you can put money to unlock the battle pass, but you cannot spend money on the items itself. You have to play the game to unlock the items. So in return, that kind of adds a sense of progression that is, like I said, very much feel like we are back playing like PS2 or the 360 games of unlocking stuff before monetization kind of ruined everything. So in return, the battle pass itself is fantastic at far of trying to balance all that for the player that want to spend money, but also having to still play. So in return, you motivate players to keep playing your game and not just spending money to spend money, like you can see in some other games out there. So good job on finding a nice little balance there for the player. And then of course, with the armor and weapons being unlocked through the battle pass, you might be wondering about pay to win, power. Don't worry on that end, because once again, the unlock feel very much like you would unlock older weapons in older games. But also, the game itself don't really have PvP. Don't get me wrong, we do have friendly fire. You can kill your teammate. But in return, it's more of just chaoticness that will happen, because every once in a while, you might have a teammate that won in front of your gun and just happen to drop dead. It happens, but that kind of the part of the chaoticness. And of course, the weapons itself do get like very much gameplay and gameplay style. Or also like certain guns will be better against certain enemy. We do have that progression here, but when it comes to actually being better than other players, you don't really got to worry about that offhand, especially in most games, because at the end of the day, you are unlocking stuff that you want to use, and also if you happen to kill your teammate, it just happened. No foul on that technically, maybe on harder setting now thinking about it, but nonetheless, the battle pass and the progression itself don't really interfere in the same way that you would see in like a pay-to-win type of game, which is a fantastic here. So overall, Helldivers have been a big surprise, from the combat itself being fantastic, to the battle passes of feeling like cool game unlock, to the whole MMO community social element that is trying to get players to work together to do certain activity, and actually feeling like the player itself is actually trying to help. It is honestly all around a fantastic game, and I highly support this game. when it comes to playing it. The only issue that might come from this is in due time, if the player base do drop, the game itself in return might kind of start falling apart in a lot of ways. But as long as the community and the developer keep putting as much love into it as they are right now, this game is going to be great for hopefully a very long time. And with that, if I'm going to have to give this a score, I give Helldivers 2 a 4 out of 5.